They say everyone wants love, but very few understand connection. We scroll through pictures, we talk about chemistry, we dream about the one. But when real intimacy begins, when two people finally lower their guard, most of us realize that the body is easy. It's the mind and the heart that feel complicated. Today, let's talk about the power that nobody teaches you. How emotional and physical connection work together, and why understanding this balance changes everything about love. For generations, people have been taught that intimacy is mostly about attraction, how you look, how you act, what you say. But true closeness isn't a performance, it's awareness. It's the ability to see someone completely, without judgment, and allow them to see you back. That's why so many relationships start strong and fade quickly. We chase excitement instead of depth, validation instead of understanding. When intimacy is rushed, the body might connect, but the hearts stay strangers. And that's where confusion, pain, and distance begin. Every meaningful relationship begins with emotional safety. When a person feels seen, heard, and respected, their whole nervous system relaxes. Science calls this the trust response. It lowers stress hormones, softens fear, and opens the brain for connection. Think about it. You can't truly enjoy closeness if you're afraid of being judged or rejected. That's why the most powerful attraction isn't built through looks, it's built through peace. When you make someone feel safe, their body naturally mirrors that comfort. That's when connection feels effortless. Every time you laugh with someone, hold their hand, or share a secret, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It's the same chemical that helps people trust, heal, and care for each other. In healthy relationships, oxytocin and dopamine work together. Dopamine gives excitement, oxytocin gives calm. Together they create something rare, secure passion. When either side is missing, imbalance begins. Too much excitement without calm turns love into chaos. Too much calm without excitement turns love into routine. The magic lies in understanding both. In modern culture, men are often told to stay strong, not to show emotion, but real strength is the ability to stay open even when it's uncomfortable. Women, on the other hand, are taught to nurture, but sometimes forget to protect their own energy. Both roles are half the story. When a man learns empathy and a woman learns boundaries, connection becomes equal. Respect replaces pressure, and what once felt like control becomes cooperation. Every deep relationship depends on one habit: clear, kind communication. It's not about talking more, it's about listening better. Ask questions like, what helps you feel comfortable, or what makes you feel loved? Small questions open big doors. Silence, on the other hand, creates distance. When people stop talking, they start assuming, and assumptions build walls faster than anger ever could. So, before chasing chemistry, learn the language of clarity. Let me tell you a story. Ava and Daniel met during college, bright, passionate, and curious about each other. They loved the thrill of being close, but struggled whenever real emotions appeared. Ava feared being too open. Daniel feared losing control. Every argument left them more guarded. One evening, instead of fighting, Daniel said something simple. I don't want to win this time. I just want us to understand each other. For the first time, Ava felt safe enough to speak honestly. That conversation didn't just fix their fight, it changed how they loved. They realized that connection isn't about proving who's right, it's about protecting the space between you. That night wasn't magical because of romance. It was powerful because of vulnerability. Every couple develops its own rhythm, the unspoken dance between energy and calm. The best connections happen when both people pay attention, not only to what they want, but also to what the other feels. This awareness creates flow instead of friction. When people rush intimacy, their minds stay tense. When they slow down, listen, and communicate, the body follows naturally. Pleasure, comfort, and connection are not opposites. They are partners in the same movement. Research in psychology shows that emotional intelligence, empathy, patience, and self-awareness is the top predictor of long-term relationship success. People remember how you made them feel far more than what you did. That's why genuine kindness becomes magnetic. Confidence doesn't come from control, it comes from calmness. When you understand yourself, you stop performing. When you stop performing, you start connecting. That's when intimacy becomes healing instead of draining. Connection is the quiet revolution of our generation. It's the courage to slow down, to listen, and to love with awareness. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Every moment of respect builds trust. Every act of empathy builds safety. And when safety grows, passion follows naturally. So if you take one thing from this talk, let it be this. Real intimacy is not something you chase, it's something you create through understanding. Real connection begins the moment awareness turns into presence. Presence means you are here, not thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. You hear the tone behind your partner's words, you notice their breathing, you sense when they need silence more than advice. Presence builds safety faster than promises ever could. In that stillness, two people stop trying to perform and start trying to understand. That's when intimacy feels like breathing instead of effort. Most of us carry invisible stories from the past, lessons from parents, heartbreaks, or mistakes we never fully processed. Those stories whisper things like don't trust, don't need anyone, or prove your worth. When those voices guide us, we can't build something new. Healing starts when we name those patterns out loud. It's saying that fear isn't my partner's fault, it's my history. When you separate past pain from present love, connection becomes lighter. You stop reacting and start relating. Many think desire fades with time, but in truth, respect keeps it alive. When you admire your partner's courage, humor, or kindness, the mind stays curious. Curiosity is what keeps long relationships from turning cold. Respect also means boundaries. It's the invisible agreement that says, we are both responsible for each other's comfort. That mindset transforms closeness into something emotionally safe and endlessly renewing. Emotional literacy is the ability to put feelings into words. It turns confusion into clarity. Imagine saying, I feel unseen, instead of, you never listen. The first opens a door, the second closes it. Couples who can describe their emotions calmly have fewer conflicts and deeper trust. The heart wants to be understood, not fixedly him. Strong relationships don't just make you feel good, they make you grow. Each disagreement, if handled with empathy, becomes a lesson in self-control. Each act of forgiveness expands patience. Growth doesn't always look romantic. Sometimes it's uncomfortable honesty or a quiet apology. But every time two people learn together, love becomes more mature and unbreakable. Gratitude might sound simple, yet it's one of the most powerful emotional connectors. Saying thank you for listening, or I appreciate you being patient, rewires the brain toward warmth. It tells your partner that their efforts matter. Appreciation turns routine moments into emotional glue. You don't build safety once, you maintain it daily. Check-ins, gentle humor, shared routines, and honest feedback are the small rituals that protect connection. Sharing photos or stories online can feel intimate, but real connection happens offline, in unfiltered conversations, in quiet evenings where both people can simply be. Modern intimacy is choosing presence over performance. It's two people deciding that understanding is more important than appearance. True connection is not dramatic. It's peaceful, steady, and honest. It's the courage to keep showing up when life gets busy, to listen when it's easier to scroll, to forgive when pride whispers don't. Every act of patience strengthens trust. Every moment of empathy adds oxygen to love. That's the hidden power of connection, subtle, steady, and transformative. Here's the truth few people ever hear: your brain isn't chasing pleasure. It's chasing safety. When it feels safe, it opens. When it opens, connection feels effortless. That's why real intimacy begins long before any physical touch. It starts when two nervous systems calm each other down through tone, patience, and trust. Science calls it co-regulation. Emotionally, it feels like coming home. Inside every healthy connection lives a symphony of hormones. Oxytocin builds bonding, dopamine sparks excitement, serotonin brings balance, and endorphins protect from stress. But chemistry follows behavior. It doesn't lead it. Gentle words, consistent actions, and honest listening are what tell the brain, you're safe here. When that message repeats often enough, the body begins to relax, even in silence. That relaxation is the root of real desire and emotional clarity. Modern culture teaches people to perform affection instead of feel it. We learn postures, poses, and expectations, but forget authenticity. Performance creates pressure. Authenticity creates connection. When two people stop trying to impress and start trying to understand, the energy shifts from anxiety to flow. Every laugh, breath, and pause becomes natural. That's not losing magic, it's discovering where magic actually lives. Reciprocity means both people contribute emotionally. It's not 50-50 all the time, it's balance over time. Sometimes one gives more support, sometimes the other. The goal is not equality, it's harmony. In healthy love, give feels good because it comes from choice, not duty. That's what turns companionship into partnership. There's a quiet courage in saying, I need you. Many fear that sentence because they mistake need for weakness, but vulnerability is not collapsing, it's opening. It says, I trust you enough to show my real self. Psychologically, vulnerability reduces shame and increases empathy. It allows both people to see each other without armor. And when armor drops, connection deepens. Touch isn't just physical, it's language. A gentle hand on the shoulder says, I'm with you. A comforting hug says, you're safe. Learning to read and offer touch respectfully builds emotional literacy through the body. The rule is simple: mutual comfort first. Every act of care should come with awareness and consent. That awareness turns ordinary gestures into healing communication. Everyone experiences nervousness and closeness. It's human biology. The trick isn't to eliminate anxiety, but to transform it into intention. Breathe slower, move slower, speak kinder. Intentional pace tells the body, nothing is rushed here. That's how comfort and confidence grow together. Most conflicts aren't about what happened, they're about not feeling heard. Listening without fixing gives space for understanding to appear. It sounds like, tell me more, instead of, here's what you should do. In that space, resentment dissolves and partnership strengthens. We live in a world that moves faster than emotions were designed to travel. That's why modern love demands patience. It's choosing depth in a culture of distraction. It's choosing eye contact over screens. The couples who thrive today are those who make empathy their daily practice, not grand gestures, but micro moments of kindness repeated over years. That consistency builds the kind of love that no trend can replace. If you take one thing from this talk, let it be this: connection is not found, it's built. Built through curiosity, built through compassion, built through the decision to keep learning each other every day. The most attractive people are those who understand emotions, respect boundaries, and lead with empathy. When men and women both learn emotional intelligence, they don't compete, they collaborate. They create a love that teaches rather than drains, that heals rather than hides. So pause, breathe, and ask yourself, how can I make someone feel safer today? That single question is the seed of lifelong intimacy.